So what we've got here, Cedar? Biochar. What was that? So why am I talking about biochar? Why am I? Thank you, Cedar. That was lovely. Why am I using biochar? It's essentially just charcoal, but you just inoculate. You can hold it. You want to hold it? It's essentially just charcoal, but what you do, you kind of inoculate it in kind of compost tea or horse poo, and so on. So why is biochar so great? 1 ounce of biochar has a surface area of a football pitch. It's ridiculously porous, meaning like if you kind of mix it in with your compost tea or your horse poo or your whatever compost teas you have, it absorbs all those goodness, all the moisture, and when you put them in your garden, it will slowly release it. So guys, all the wood's piled up. So you're thinking, why am I? I'm standing in the meadow. So you can see on this side is a bit I used to cut regularly. So the grass is going to take them back. There's odd bits of perennials in here, but on this side I've left this batch to kind of go wild. I've chucked some seed balls with the fam down here as well. So, but at the same time, right now it's pretty much filled with dock, thistle, and nettle. That's pretty much it, to be honest with you. But at the same time, the reason why I'm waving around these sticks, this is the old dock leaves or dock stems, flowers, sorry, from last year, and it makes the ideal kindling. It's so tinder dry, you can hear that. It's perfect for starting your fires. So when you see this, grab it, use it for your fire. Bosh. So essentially what I'm doing is, as I said, this is all embering up nicely. So when I start to put down the wood, basically the new bits of wood will kind of draw in the oxygen intake. So we'll slow down the process of the fire burning at the bottom and creating potash. So if I keep layering it up layer, so like embers, add the wood, fire, embers, add the wood, fire kind of thing, and keep going up to get to the top. So then pretty much it's all just embers, and once that happens, that's the best bit. Pyrolysis is the process name for making biochar, which basically means you burn things with low levels of oxygen. So what you're essentially doing is burning the water and the gases out and leaving you with a nice, beautiful black carbon sexy soil amendment basically, which is called biochar. Biochar has been around for centuries, guys, and one of the recent discoveries around the 1950s was that it was used a lot in the Amazon rainforest. You would think that the soil was really perfect there because it had all the trees and then leaf layer and all sorts of stuff, but because the rainforest was prone to flooding, hence rainforest, what would happen, it would wash away all the nutrients. So the ancient people thought to themselves, how could we retain all the goodness here? So that's why they started using biochar, and what they did is that they broke it down, they used it everywhere, and you can dig down in parts of the Amazon rainforest and find, and what they call it over there is terra preta. So yeah, they sell it for, I don't know how much a bag, maybe £10 maybe, and yeah, it's amazing stuff. So here you go, guys, look at this perfect biochar. See, I could have added more wood. I kept piling up, but the thing is, the missus wants me home for dinner. So yeah, look at that. Perfect carbon. Perfect. And now for the inoculation stage. So how to inoculate your biochar. So one way I like to do, a little simple trick, is that you get your char and literally you crush it down to a pulp. Crush a lot of it down, and then what you can add to it is I put in some dynamic accumulators, which I have here. So I've got stinging nettles over here, I've got loads of stinging nettles, I've got dock leaf, I've got comfrey. Or another simple solution is just literally get the biochar and crumble it into your compost heap or crumble it into your wormery. Just do that, because then what happens, it absorbs all the goodness, like I've said before, and you can just sit down, let it rest, and when the time comes, when comes spring, you can sprinkle it out. And here is my barrel full of biochar. I've been making it for over maybe 2-3 years now. And yeah, I've just had this stash waiting for, just lying in wait. So when the time's right, I was going to inoculate it and then use it on the garden. But now I'm moving, I am going to take this all the way up to Scotland. But since I've just had this sitting here neglecting it, wasps have made a nest in there, and I think maybe a a robin or a blue tit. And here's garlic. I forgot that I actually used some inoculated biochar on my garlic patch, and I was wondering why a lot of them became like really mammoth, like huge size. About a good maybe I got 2 dozen of them that this big. And as I pulled them up, I remember seeing small chunks of biochar attached to the roots. And I didn't say anything in my harvest video because I was just a bit confused. As it was my first proper garlic harvest, really. So then I've come to the conclusion that it kind of has to have been the biochar that made them, given them that growth. So I could have done a better experiment and kind of spread them out properly, or put one side biochar and the other side not. But yeah, there you go. Proof in the pudding.